Hello, everybody, and welcome to Roll with Advantage. Welcome to tonight's session. We have everybody here very excited to play. A lot of stuff to do, so let's roll the intro and get into it.
Welcome you to the world of Evrand.
The Seekers of Insanity.
I told you to leave me alone. I could do this.
I wanted us to live and I wanted him dead.
Oh, I am so happy to see you.
Every party needs a Cooper.
Raise the blade!
John, are you having fun?
Yeah,
Raise the blade.
We are back.
Just like the intro.
Exactly. I hear that was filmed on this same soundstage, so that's pretty cool.
Wild.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. So let's go ahead and dive in. Take it away, John.
Hello, welcome back to the Tales of Evrand Session 55, or Book 5, Chapter 9. Before we get into the game, we're going to do summary, but we don't do summary here. The DMs don't. The players do. I messed up. It's okay. Joe, take it away with the summary as Rian.
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, for one, I say as the session started because Rian wasn't there. So, somewhere far away in Stormhold Keep, somehow I know a conversation happened. The session started with an in-depth conversation between Basil and Gideon over life, death, and what role the demons in their lives have yet to play in them. I hope the two of them find peace and prosperity in their journey, and I hope they know that I'm with them every step along their way. Back in Lunaria, I did reminisce with Enid about her mother and father. I know she doesn't remember much about her life before the raid, but I hope, if nothing else, I can gift her that. Happy memories about her fantastic parents. Gak and Enid watched the rift as I spoke with the Queen of Lunaria about the location of Vandrin. She revealed that he's currently located in Therasteer. However, near the end of that conversation, an earthquake was felt across the realms, a new rift opening. At that same moment, Enid and Gak were attacked at the rift. The two of them, with a small amount of assistance from me, banished the creature, a Jabberwock, back to the Feywild. With that, I headed back to Hombafort to finish out my training with Sayori, Elias, Eldar, and Enid, and to finally finish what I had set out to do at the beginning of this journey. But there was one issue. You see, a lot of what I had planned to do revolved around Yrsa, and she was away with Sludge. So, let's figure out what happens there.
And let's dive back into the game immediately. Thank you, Joe. Beautiful. Wonderful.
Interpretive dance, swimming. Dance, swimming.
As we dive back into the game, we pan over to a dark, desolate, sunless place, the Sunless Marsh. Yrsa and her sister Willow off to find Sludge, the Rift Warden of the Shadowfell. Yrsa, as you all were traveling through the Sunless Marsh, you're about a day and a half into your travel. You didn't think it would take this long, but the marsh is expansive and seems never ending. The one thing you know is to keep traveling towards the darkness. And right now, it's very dark, but you can barely see just ahead of you. The darkness kind of sucks up all of the light from around you. Willow and you are walking through, your boots, feet, soaked in water and marshy land. the moss that you walk upon slushes past. You can see that there are these water bubbles inside of the moss that kind of just like jiggle as you walk past. You can see that actual vines kind of like move away, almost like snakes writhing through the water. You see many creatures, alligators, mosquitoes, these almost hand-sized looking wasp-type creatures that kind of just fly around. You see vultures in the trees. No sign of humanoid life, though. So, as you continue walking through, Willow looks over to you. She's kind of clutching at herself. This place sucks.
It's not home, but it's different. It's very moist.
I hate that word. And she smacks a mosquito on. Oh, shoot. I'm so sorry.
Okay, it's all right. We just
Can you heal it?
It just falls to the water. It's dead.
Oh.
I think he is better off now.
Milo,
we
how are
can't be
you?
that far.
I hope not. And you see Milo kind of walk up. The big brown bear behind you all. You can see that his fur is soaked all the way almost up to the shoulders. He's kind of trying to lick off some of the marsh water, and you continue on. I would like you to make a nature check here, sir.
Okay, these weren't very good last time I did it. Oh, but they're better today.
Hey! Alright. You see a pathway before you where the marshlands lead into a much deeper swamp, where you can see that like a couple alligators are just kind of looking at you as you pass through, but you can tell if you were to go to the left, you'd probably dive into water where there's nothing to keep you up. So you kind of take this right path, but continue onward towards the darkness. It's really hard to tell if it's day or night here.
Right.
And the only reason you know so far that it's been a day is not only because you've camped, but because of your skills with nature. But you continue on, and Willow just says, so, I know why we're going to see Sludge, but what are we going to talk about?
Okay, so I have this plan, and it revolves around all of the Rift Wardens coming together, and if we can all come together, I was really hoping that maybe the rifts that aren't having negative effects, I was really hoping we wouldn't have to close those ones. I was hoping that if all the wardens came together and we could maybe form some type of a membership or a club, and we could all coordinate and have open lines of communication, we could come together to control our individual rifts, the ones that we know that we have a little bit of control over. And in a way, we could work together to close ones that are harmful. But the problem is, there are a few wardens that I don't know, and I don't know how to contact them, and I think Sludge would know how to contact them.
Has that ever been done? Like, the gathering of the wardens? I've never heard of that. I mean, I'm still new to this anyways.
Well, I don't think so.
Oh.
So the problem is some of these wardens don't really like people. Sludge doesn't like people, I remember that, but
Yeah, I can tell.
they don't like people in a different way that others don't like people. Some of them, I don't think people have even seen before. So, if we can find a way to contact them and we can all, get on the same page, I think this could be a really good thing, and we don't have to close certain rifts. Right? Look, Sludge seems to have good control over this place.
Yeah, Sure. I mean, yeah, we haven't been attacked by anything, but
Mm-hmm. And in all fairness, there needs to be a little bit of dark to balance out the light, right? I mean, look how friendly everyone looks in their home, which points to a random alligator.
you watch that alligator, it seems to snap and grab something and pull it into the water. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
this
Friendly.
place is great. Yeah.
Different kind of friendly, but no one. It's their home. We're guests in their home. You know?
Yeah, I just hope it doesn't take too much longer. I wonder how they're holding up at the rift, your friends.
Oh, I'm sure it's fine. Nothing really bad's come out of it lately, right?
Other than that fire dog, no?
See, I'm sure it's a friendly pixie who just wants to play a few games.
Probably, or a pseudo dragon or something. Those come out a lot.
Yeah.
Ah, get away!
You're so just kind of face palms.
Why aren't they
Um,
bothering you?
Because I asked them nicely not to.
Hey, mosquitoes, please stop.
Hey, we don't have to talk about this right now, but could I ask you to think about something? Maybe we can talk about it more on the way back.
What's up?
Let's say you could be a moth or a butterfly. What would you be? But I don't want you to answer it right now. I really want you to think about it and process that.
You
Okay,
see,
great.
she stops and just starts looking up. Moth. I think a butterfly.
Wait, no, you're not supposed to answer yet. I want you to
Oh.
think about it.
All right,
Okay,
all right, all right, all right, fine. Think about it. I have a question for you.
Okay.
Well, a couple questions. How has your travel been, for one?
Mm.
That's
Yeah.
concise.
Yeah, it's been exciting. I've made friends. Some people who I thought were friends. Some very nasty people. Strap in. I'm gonna tell you a very long story. I'm gonna talk about the whole Oberyn adventure.
Okay, so for the next hour and a
Yeah.
half, you go over the Oberyn story, and at the end, she goes, "I'm so sorry. That's messed up.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, you look like you're doing okay. I mean, the guy was a vampire, Ursa.
Yes, but at the end, he was just a man all over again. A very scared one. Who was equally as afraid to die as the rest of us. And at the end, he was able to admit the mistakes and the fact that he was wrong.
So you did help him.
I'd like to think so.
Well, it seems like at the end he was, well, changed for the better. Even though he died.
Yeah.
And she kind of just, like, nudges you and says, "Hey, you're doing okay, though."
Yeah, I am doing significantly better. There was a time where, there was lots of thorns and brambles, and I think I said some very mean things. I think to Rhea, and I said some very mean things.
You said mean things?
Yes,
I don't believe
did.
it.
Oh, they were very... I think I threatened to kill Rian at one point. I don't know.
She stops and looks at you. You've changed.
It was in a moment of anger, and I think that I am overcome that now.
I'm the one who's supposed to be like that.
Well, you still are, but that's okay.
All right. Speaking of Rian, how's
Hmm.
that going?
How's what going?
What do you mean?
What do you mean, what do I mean? He's doing well. Everyone keeps making fun of his age, which I think sometimes gets under his skin, but...
I mean, it's fun.
mhm.
No,
I
I
think
mean,
he's doing well.
between you two. There's no way you don't see it.
Let's keep walking this way. I think there's more darkness in that direction.
Oh, dodging the question.
There's no question.
All right, fine, I'll leave it. I got my answer. She continues to walk forward.
As
Come
she
on, Lila.
walks past, you're just gonna go. Keep walking.
You continue on further and further into the marsh. Eventually, you make camp. Fortunately, you haven't reached your destination, and another day has passed. You try to make a fire, but every piece of wood in this marsh is wet and unflammable.
Okay.
You sit there in the darkness. Do you have any light cantrips or anything to create light?
I sure do actually. My staff can. I have the light cantrip because.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay. Do you cast it?
I sure do.
Okay. So you cast it, and conversations continue on with you and Willow. Eventually, you have to put your light cantrip out because you realize that as darkness has, well, as it is nighttime, you're in a swamp. The mosquitoes and bugs have started to surround your light cantrip, and it is very, very annoying and uncomfortable. Willow, just in the darkness, you can kind of still see her. She's 5 feet away, and she says, I hope it's half a day. This is insane.
I think we're almost there. We just have to be positive. We've been traveling for a while. It can't be that much farther.
You've met Sludge before, right?
Very briefly. But yes, I have. It was very brief though. But I did.
Okay.
They seemed nice. I don't know if they'll remember me, but I've sent them a message.
Can you send them a message now?
Did
you not send them a message telling them we were coming?
No.
Yours, huh?
This is the place that they watch the rifts, so I figured they'd be here. And I did mention that I would love to speak with them soon, and that I would be coming to them soon. So,
But
it's okay. I'm sure
how
they're
about
home.
How about you do that now? What if we're in the wrong? What if they can help find us, or we're in the wrong direction?
Cast sending or message. That was through, I think, Basil.
Basil. Willow continues to say it, and she's like, "I don't understand. You don't have that magic?"
You're just gonna look around. What animals nearby? Sorry, John. I'm doing it to you. What animals nearby?
Oh, let me do something.
Okay. Not that crocodile. He was mean. He didn't have a name. He just went by what his animal was. That's not a name. Is that a Pokemon?
Have you met an animal that had a name?
No,
Yes,
she never will.
No, the caterpillar had a name, didn't
You
he?
gave the
No, you
caterpillar.
gave
a
Oh, I
name.
did.
Yeah.
I called him
Juniper.
Juniper, didn't I? My bad.
I don't have a name. I don't have friends. I'm
You-
just a caterpillar.
You
Not
see wrapped around one of the large branches of one of these swamp trees is a boa constrictor. This'll
You're
be
just gonna be
fun.
like, 1 second. To Willow. I have this. See, look. Excuse me, Mr. Snake. Good evening. I noticed that you are very full of belly. It looks like you had a great dinner today. It's exciting, isn't it? Okay, so question. She's casting Speak with Animals, by the way.
I got it.
I don't know how to play D&D. My name's Yrsa. This is my sister Willow. We are just travelers in your home. I hope you don't mind that we're sharing this tree. Was just wondering if you happen to know of a very lovely woman by the name of Sludge. They're very small. They have a lot of magic. Dark brown hair, pretty green eyes.
You hear,
A smile.
Lady of the Woods.
Yes. That one.
She's near the shadows.
Okay. A friend, another friend of mine, also mentioned that on the heart of this darkness is where we can find them. Do you know how much further away that is? Or where we are right now?
you see the snake kind of just slithers and like looks in a direction. It's like northwest. It says,
About 3 months that way.
I'm sorry, did you say months?
Months.
Molts. Could you transpose that to legs? Or feet? Or strides? Or flaps?
I know not the words you speak.
About how long is one molt for you?
2 cycles.
Of the moon? Of the sun in the moon, coming up and setting.
There is no sun.
Okay.
"What's he saying?"
What's who say? Oh, a friend. I forgot you couldn't hear him. I'm so sorry. I was like, Willow, you idiot, you can't
This
hear
is
him.
amazing.
I'm sorry. I'm really bad at D&D.
This is great. No,
It's been a long
I love
week.
this.
Okay.
This is amazing.
Anyway, she looks over. She's like this close to this freaking giant ass boa constrictor, and then she turns to Willow. He says that the Lady of the Woods is only 2 molts away. See, I told you we were close.
2 days?
No, 2 molts.
Right.
Is that 2 days?
Yeah.
Okay,
I
great.
guess.
You guess or you know?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Snake. Do you have a name?
No. I am a snake.
Okay. I'm going to call you. Never mind. She's not gonna do that. I'm gonna call you Smith. Have a great day, Smith.
Goodbye.
And the snake just slithers off.
Okay, look, we're on track. 2 days, 2 molts. We'll be there in no time.
Yes, Rachel, it is. But my brain, I don't know how long it takes for a snake to molt, and I just came up with it on the spot. So, you know.
No, I was
Crab?
thinking it's so
These are-
funny if that's like how the snakes there tell time. Just like,
Snakes
oh,
molt
one
every
molt.
single day. Apparently.
This is how snakes molt in the Shadowfell. That's why it's like that, you know.
Yeah.
Not an expert in Shadowfell
Yeah.
Oh man.
Snake.
botany. That's plants.
It's just a. Yeah. Okay, so
Thanks, John.
Yersa and Willow, you pack up your things and head for another day and another day. This marsh again seems endless, but it continues to get darker and darker. Make a nature check.
Okay, well, it's not a terrible.
Okay.
Wait a second. Pause everything.
Okay. Yep. Pause.
Yrsa has a spell called Find the Path
Mm.
via her staff.
Yep.
I'm a fucking idiot. This spell allows you to find the shortest, most direct physical route to a specific fixed location that you are familiar with. Okay, Yrsa's gonna stop.
Well,
And she's gonna look at Willow. She's holding the staff, and she says... She's not gonna say shit to Willow. She's just gonna clink her staff and cast the spell without Willow knowing. She's just remembered. And I'm gonna put it in here so you know that I have it. And I'm not making it up.
Okay.
I will use my charges.
Awesome.
Boop, boop.
So, as you
Willow,
cast...
I have a really strong feeling that this is the direction that we are meant to be going.
I mean, anything's better at this point. Like, I can't feel my toes.
Yep, let's go.
You continue walking. As you cast the spell, by the way, the leaves that are around you and the nature just kind of seems to slightly shimmer and move in the direction. Blades of grass part way, I guess moss part to the side and create like this little line. You continue moving forward and forward.
I'm so dumb.
And eventually you feel the ground start to shake. Yrsa?
Yrsa's just gonna grab Willow's hand and just hold. This is normal?
No, I don't think so.
Is this the same type of shaky shake when the last rift opened up? Or is this a different kind of shaky shake?
Yrsa, you're a Rift Warden.
Okay, I was making sure.
Yeah, this
Okay.
is.
Okay,
Eventually.
no, it's not normal.
Eventually the rumbling subsides. That's not good.
No. It means that another rift has opened somewhere.
Yeah.
We
The last
need
one was
to
the
hurry.
Abyss, right?
Yeah.
Shit. Oh no.
It's okay. It's
No,
okay.
last time this happened, that's when that thing came out of the rift.
It's okay. Our friends are there. I'm sure whatever comes out is something that they can handle.
At this point, you hear what sounds like scuffle and spells being cast. And these guttural, creature-like sounds, bark being ripped off of trees. It's about 250 feet north of you guys. You hear that?
Yes, and this is the direction we are heading, and she's gonna pull Willow along.
Willow starts. I think someone's in danger, and she continues to like start running. She says, "Come on, Milo!" And Milo starts running. You're running with her.
Yes.
Okay. You continue to hear. Hold on. Sorry. Oh. You continue to hear the scuffling happen. You see in the very faint distance this flash of light. You hear someone, more feminine voice, grunt in pain. As you continue to run through the swamp, eventually you break through and see a clearing in front of you. Darkness surrounds everything, and the only thing you can see is this green, like, pulsating light that is just hanging, these like almost fruit-like things hanging from a giant, massive tree of tangled vines and branches that almost seems to connect everything around this swamp. in the center of this tree, you see what looks like a tear in reality. This dark black and white portal that is ripped directly in the center of this tree. And you see in front of you, after dispatching what looks to be these shadowy, almost demon-like creatures with large bat-like wings, that in front of her you see Sludge as she casts what maybe be Shillelagh on this quarterstaff and just smack one of them. They kind of dissipate into shadow, but you can see blood dripping from her side as she has taken a lot of damage. You see this image in front of you. The great marsh tree.
Oh, that's so neat.
But you see that Sludge is fighting things currently.
As we approach, like, without even, like, having the chance to say anything, can Yrsa cast, like, a 3rd level healing word towards her?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
What I'm going to do is this going to be for the first half theater of the mind, as you run up and there are multiple creatures, these shadow-like, demon-like creatures that are surrounding her. You can... Let's go ahead and do... As you run up Yrsa, your immediate thought is to cast Healing Word on Sludge. As you cast the spell, you watch Sludge's wound close up slightly as she looks back towards you and goes,
Yrsa! Thank God you're here.
And you see her turn around and looks like she casts Grasping Vine and grabs one of the creatures, pulls them down to the ground, and then shillelaghs them in the stomach. Willow, running up towards you, kind of jumps on top of Milo's back, pulls back her bow, and shoots one of these shadow creatures in the face. However, you watch the shadow creature grab it and pull it out of its face and look towards Willow, and as it starts flying towards you. Yrsa, what are you doing?
As soon as it starts to come towards Willow, Yrsa is going to immediately, she's going to cast Thunder Wave, and it's like almost like a gut reaction, like she's just gonna put her staff sideways and just forcibly push this way to just blow them backwards.
Okay, awesome. I will say that you kind of run forward in front of Willow, off to the side, and bring your staff up and cast Thunder Wave, being away from that 5-foot range that it has. As you cast Thunder Wave, it attacks and hits the shadow-like creature as you watch it disperse into air and dust. You watch as a couple more of these things start to climb out of the rift itself and make their way towards Sludge, flying in the air with their claws extended. You see Sludge then pulls her hand up and casts Moonbeam on top of them, but you watch the Moonbeam, you see the leaves and branch kind of like break away, and it's not a bright white light of beam. It is this dark black and green light that just slams down and destroys this bat-like creature, and you can see her kind of keel over a little bit, like she's very, very injured. There's one coming towards Willow, as Willow kind of directs Milo towards this creature. Milo runs up and slashes twice at this creature, as Willow again. You see the creature kind of turn a little brightly green as Willow says these words under her breath, as she hunter marks it and shoots her bow once again and attacks this one. Yrsa, what's the follow-up on this creature?
I mean, Yrsa, if it's getting this close to Willow, super protective sister mode, instead of her staff just in her hand, she's gonna materialize that flame blade, and she doesn't care. She's fearless when it comes to her sister, so she's just gonna go immediately up to that creature and, like, kind of mimicking what she remembers from Brienne, doing some of the sword practices, but with this, like, flaming sword out of nothing, just kind of out of her hand.
As
I'll
you
cast Flame Blade.
run up and you cast Flame Blade, this green flame extends from your hand as you swipe upwards. You can see the glow from the flame actually lights up the water around you, casting the shadow. As you strike with the blade, you see the creature get split into two and go into dust. As that happens, the swamp grows quiet again as Sludge looks over to you, holding her stomach, and says,
Well, this is a sight.
Oh,
Why are
let me-
you
Let
here?
me help you. And yours is just gonna go over and cast Cure Wounds.
Hi.
Hi. Sorry, I know this is very unexpected, but good timing, right?
Indeed.
and as she says that, from the portal,
No.
you see the portal change and shift as you see this cloaked figure just kind of slowly float out of the portal. This thing stands about 12 feet tall. It looks like it's just draped in shadow itself. It has this incorporeal form inside as this purple magic kind of swirls around it. Now, this is where we get into
Wait, I'm scared. What?
combat.
I don't know what this thing is.
I would like you to roll initiative, Yersa.
I'd like to phone a friend. Okay. 12. Okay.
Okay.
You met me? What? What does that mean?
Music. It's the Witcher music with
Oh,
the
okay.
Scandinavian women.
Weird sentence.
With that,
I had a cool
Willow.
idea for a spell. Sorry.
okay. Willow, on her first turn, is going to. She is definitely going to Hunter's Mark this creature, and she is going to pull back her bow and take 3 attacks simultaneously. 1, 2, 3. First one misses, the second one and third one hit. So I'll roll damage. So that's 9, 10, and then also on top of that, and that's 2d6 extra damage. So 19, 20, 21, 22 points of damage on on her turn, and then Milo is going to run up and take. What do you got, Milo? 2 attacks, 1 bite and 1 claw. They are both going to hit. Woo! Okay. 16 and then a 7 points of damage. Oh god, it's Sludge's turn. Whoops. Sludge is going to she is going to cast Fairy Fire. Uh, 20-foot cube. Okay, cool. Okay, and then this creature needs to make a what saving throw? Dexterity saving throw. Okay. Natural 1. All right, cool. This it is fairy fired. I'll just put this little stardust on it. Cool. All right, Yursa, you are up.
Okay, because this is gonna play into the thing that I'm gonna do next. But the first thing she's gonna do. What is the highest level I can cast this at? Okay, I would like to cast. She's going to look around and notice all of the, mosquitoes. She's gonna cast Insect Plague at 5th level. And have all of the swarm of mosquitoes just fly towards this thing. I'm going to
what does it need to make?
It is a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
It remains for the duration.
So 14.
What is my? Oh,
No,
you
it's higher
failed.
than that,
You
yeah.
failed. 19, bitch. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was really mean.
Hey, fuck this thing up.
I don't think that rolled at the right level, did it?
It did 4d10.
Hold on a second. 6. Okay, yeah. It takes 20 points of damage.
Nice. As in this first round of combat, Willow marks the creature, shoots 3 arrows consistently, consecutively. Jeez, that's the word. As Milo runs up, bites and claws at the creature. You can see that the bite doesn't even reach anything, but it seems to upset and disrupt the corporeal form of this creature itself. As Sludge, then almost the plant above that green light that you've seen, she takes her hand and pulls it down, and you see it smash above, creating the fairy light. As Yursa, you run up and you command all of the mosquitoes and insects in the area. This swarm just overtakes this creature.
Like the scene from The Mummy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on this creature's turn. Let's see, what can it do? I need all of you. Yes. You watch this creature almost kind of concave on itself and then let out this lashing of shadowy tendrils in the area 60 feet around. I need all of you to make dexterity saving throws.
Okay.
Milo succeeds. Let's see. Does Sludge succeed? Sludge succeeds. Willow does not. Yursa, what'd you roll?
A 19.
Okay, that's a success. So, okay, it seems like Milo ducks, Sludge also does, you as well, Yursa, but you see one of the tendrils hits Willow right in the chest as she takes 27 points of necrotic damage.
Oh, no.
And you watch this creature disappear into the shadows and reappear right behind you two as it shadow steps behind you. It's Willow's turn. Willow is going to put the bow on her back, kind of clutching her chest, but takes out the 2 scimitars she has on either side and makes a round of strikes against it.
Why is my sister so cool? Oh my god.
She's
Look
pretty
at her.
sick. Hit. Miss. Hit. Yo, Willow killing it though.
Honestly.
And then Milo is again going to run over here.
That's right. That's a good friend right there.
And going to bite and claw. Hit. Miss. I'm rolling a lot of natural ones, which is funny. 11 points of damage to this thing. That is her turn. Sludge is up. Sludge is going to cast Cure Wounds onto Willow. It's 2d8. Plus 2, okay. Oh, not plus 23, Jesus Christ. Oops. Willow will heal 12 points. And Yrsa, you are up.
Okay. I know it doesn't make much sense, but narratively, I would say Yrsa is going to step in front of Willow, and she's gonna cast her own Moonbeam at 4th level.
Hell yes. I think I have a thing for this, actually. Do I not anymore?
Oh.
No.
Con save.
It's okay. I know where it is.
Yeah.
Con save?
Yeah. Or half.
That's a fail.
Yeah, 19 or 17 points of damage, radiant damage. I don't know if that makes a difference.
It actually does.
Oh. Yeah.
So that's doubled.
Nice.
Yrsa, how do you want to do this?
Yes. Okay. Big sister mode activated. So
Yeah, 29 hit points left.
she's just going to step in front of, because she's apparently every biblical reference today ever, she's gonna step in front of Willow and just like raising her staff and bringing it down like freaking Moses. Just casting, or I don't know, Thor, casting this bolt of light to come down, this moonbeam to just fry him right in front of her.
So again, as Willow slashes up with her scimitars, Milo comes up with a bite, and with Sludge healing Willow, Yrsa, you seize the opportunity, jump in front of Willow, pull your staff down, slamming the ground with a spell you are very well versed with. As you cast Moonbeam, you watch the branches above part, as for a second there is sun within the sunless marsh. As a beam of light travels down, you hear a horrible guttural scream from this creature as it seems to just almost siphon into itself and dissipate from the sunlight that hits it. With that, the creature is no more. And that combat is over.
Bad bitches in the house. Girl squad, we don't need nobody else. Look at us. Thank you. Thank you.
As Sludge sits there kind of holding her chest, you see Willow almost doing the same. She says, "What the hell was that?"
Oh, it's just, you know, the moon comes down and...
Not that, Yrsa.
Oh. Dude, she looks at Sludge. What was that?
A denizen of the Shadowfell. I've never seen one of those come through, though.
I think we have a lot to talk about.
I think we do. You felt the rumble, yes?
Yes, and it's not the first time either.
No, the other rift opened as well.
Right. Yours is gonna another healing word. Cure wounds. I'm just gonna kinda like sit on the ground next to her. I know this is very sudden and again, good timing. But I needed to speak with you in person because sometimes magical communication is just not enough for everything I think we need to talk about. I'm gonna try to be as brief as possible, but I really need your help. I think we really need to gather all the Riftwardens that we know together, and we need to find a way to communicate across all of us. Because there is a way to close these rifts, and I think we should be closing the dangerous ones, for sure. But I also think there might be a way to protect our own. But we can't do that without closing the ones that are... these ones that are opening to places like the Abyss and these holes, these tears that keep appearing, and if we don't have control, things like that are gonna keep coming out. But I don't know anyone else, and I was hoping that you could help me contact the others.
It is a good idea. Things seem to be getting worse with the gate. That is now 2 rifts within the last month that have opened. And the one before that has not opened for 500 years prior. I don't know how to contact the others, though.
Well, my friends and I we have plans to eventually make our way to Siri, and I know that there's a Rift Warden there. And I was hoping if I do enough searching, I could make contact. And I was hoping maybe, I know this is asking a lot for you to venture away from here. I don't know if you have someone that you trust to watch things or to send out, but if you could try to contact, what is his name? The dwarf one, John.
Lausanne.
Yeah, that guy. If you could try to contact Lausanne, I think if we each find the other, we have a good start.
I can attempt, sure. I will do my best.
Okay.
But I agree. We must gather the wardens.
I know we don't have like an address, but like, can you do we have copies of maps of our new keep that Yrsa could give to Sludge? Like, here's my place, you know?
Yrsa is a good painter,
Yeah,
so Yrsa could make one.
yeah, absolutely. She would do that.
Awesome. It takes you a minute to
yeah.
find a spot that's not wet. You actually kind of have to conjure some fresh, like grass that is just
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, she would do that, and then just kind of like set a piece of parchment down and draw like a really. Probably spends too much time coloring spots that don't need to be colored, but she draws the map, and she says, "So this is our keep, and this is where we're going to kind of base all of our little operations out of." And I know that my friend Rian is working on kind of an organization of his own that I think could also help the wardens once we are kind of unified. So if you could maybe find Lausanne, and if we all could meet here, that'd be a wonderful start.
I will try.
She looks to Willow and says, and then looks to you.
Who's guarding the rift to the Feywild?
Oh, my friends are.
You need to get back.
Yeah. Yeah. If that's what's coming out of here, I'm not sure what's coming out at home.
I can get you back faster if you would like.
Oh. Yes, that would be great.
Follow
I
me.
Okay.
And she just kind of walks off. You see that she's like hunched over. That's her like walk is a little lanky and unorthodox as she walks through. As eventually she goes to a tree, and she looks to you and says,
Is there anything else you would like to tell me?
Yes, actually, before we go, Yrsa is going to, I guess, as much information as she knows about the Demogorgon, feels like that might be kind of important. Just to kind of, this is the thing that is trying to really make these rifts and utilize them and take advantage of it. So just be on the lookout for something, whatever that may consist of. There might be people who are helping him do that, you know?
Okay.
Just all of that information, she'll pass that along too.
So during this conversation, she does, because it would be a long conversation.
Yeah.
She does impart to you the information. There's a vision you all had a visage that you saw in Lady Gemcloak's castle of the Demogorgon traveling to the Shadowfell to a certain dragon and taking over that dragon. She gives you information that she's actually had a closer relationship with the dragon, whose name is... Hold on. What did I say? Okay. Whose name is Umbraxicor.
Okay.
I will write that out.
Well, yeah, please.
A dragon that once was a noble bronze ancient dragon that fell to some deeds and eventually to the Shadowfell, and has taken up an oath to protect the rift. But she has lost contact with Umbraxicor in recent months. And that is unlike him.
And we're pretty sure that the Demogorgon got to him. Based
Most
off
likely.
of what we... Okay. Okay. Sorry. Well, that's not good.
No. No, it is not.
We, as silly as this may sound, we have plans on handling the situation with this creature. And maybe when we confront it, we can figure out what happened to your friend. I can't promise anything, but it's not going to go unnoticed. We are going to find it.
Good.
Okay. I think that's it. If I find a better way to communicate to you a little bit easier, I will, but in the meantime, I can still send you messages if anything develops in my search. And if you find him, please let me know. And again, this is where we're going to be. We might not be home, you know, when you come by, but that's going to be kind of where it all begins. And I really think if we can all come together, we might have a way to put an end to all of this. Safely.
I agree.
Thank you.
Are you ready?
I think so. And looks at Willow and takes her hand.
Willow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you watch Sludge put her hand on the tree and run her hand down it, and as she does, the tree starts to crack and part in the center.
Go.
Oh, okay, bye. You're supposed to gonna give Sludge a hug, but then she doesn't, and then she's like, all right, thank you. And then...
And as you three walk through the transport via plant spell that she casts, you end up on the outskirts of Lunaria. Luckily, Sludge has traveled to Lunaria at some point in time and knows the tree there. 4 days have passed since you left. Well, no, sorry. 6 days have passed since you've left Yrsa.
Oh, 3 molts, got it.
Yep, 3 malts. That's how that works. As you walk back into Lunaria, you see 2 individuals sitting in front of your hut, Gak and Eden.
Look! Everything looks fine, right? Oh, you guys were the best people to put in charge.
Oh my god, you're back! Thank
God.
That was
oh my
horrible,
God.
Yrsa.
I told you it was gonna happen.
Oh, this giraffe dragon came out of the water.
It was really bad.
A giraffe dragon? I don't know. It had a long neck.
Imagine both of those things, but worse.
Oh.
Hmm.
Well, you look healthy, and look, you all have all 4 of your limbs.
Mm-hmm. And we got the
Almost
cool.
died.
We got the cool jackets.
Oh yeah,
I
we're,
like the
we're
jackets.
official. Yeah.
Thank you.
They
Oh,
are
that,
very
Made badges too.
that does remind me. I have stuff for you guys.
And Gak pulls out 2 official Rift Warden badges and hands them to Willow and Yrsa.
Here you go.
I'll gladly put it
She
on.
grabs them and says, This is a good gift. And she puts it in her pouch and she says, 1 second. And she just goes to the shallow end and just dives into the shallow end of the pond. And she's just kind of like swimming in the pond. Oh, this is so much better. We were in the swamp for 6 days.
It was really
4?
moist and humid, and
I
it
don't
was not very
remember.
nice.
Yeah.
But thank
Doesn't
you
sound very
guys.
nice.
Yours is gonna hug both of them at the same time.
Yrsa, look, I'm not gonna lie.
It's a little stanky, okay?
It's a little stanky.
Maybe you should take a swim.
Oh, but I
you
just
smell
missed you
really
so
bad, Yrsa.
much, and I'm so happy and thankful that you guys were helpful. And she's gonna like put her hands on your face, Enid. And you're so brave for just doing something so on a whim like this, and I left you.
Right. Yep. Thanks. Swim.
Thank you, Yrsa.
Okay,
you do
I'll
smell
swim.
bad.
Oh, I'm very sorry. It was very hot and humid, and I'm gonna go swim.
It's okay to smell bad.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But really, thank you guys. I'm sorry. I didn't know that was going to come out, and I really appreciate. I'm sure Lunaria appreciates what you've done.
I'm just glad you and Willow are back, but happy to help. You know.
She
I
goes
had
to give
fun.
you a hug and then hesitates. I'm gonna go do that swim thing now.
Yeah.
Gak still grabs Yrsa and hugs her.
Oh, thanks, Gak.
Aw.
She gives him a big ol' hug. She'll go jump in the water.
About a couple hours pass by. Rian, you have made your way back to Lunaria at this point after setting everything up in Hambefort. I would assume you see in front of you. You do see Willow, who looks freshly dressed and bathed as she's kind of putting her hair up in a ponytail. You also see Yrsa as well, and Gak and Enid kind of just conversing.
Oh, I'm glad to see both of you made it back all right. How was Sludge?
Oh, it was a time.
I've never met them before in my life, so I don't know, actually.
Oh, okay. Yes. So it was very hot. It was very
Okay.
humid. There were
Mhm.
crocodiles and
Mm.
snakes and mosquitoes.
Lots of
Um,
mosquitoes.
Oh.
Lots of mosquitoes. We
They are
may
the
have
worst.
accidentally murdered some mosquitoes.
Oh,
but it's okay.
that's not good. Oh, okay.
It
Accidents happen.
sucked, Rian. It was real bad.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
It was bad. But I gave Sludge a map to our keep, and they are going to find one of our fellow Rift Wardens, and I'm going to find another one when we go to Siri, and then we're all going to meet back at the keep, and we're going to begin our plan to come together as a club, a coalition, a unit. I'll find the name for it eventually, but it'll be good that we all work together.
UWs? United Wardens?
Oh, I like that. Yes, that
I'll make
one.
more badges.
That would be wonderful. But we just have to find them first.
We're gonna be known as Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah,
All right.
works.
Well,
What now?
I'm glad to see both of you made it back all right. Yrsa, I know you did just get back, so I don't want to take you away from Lunaria, but whenever you have the chance to come back to Hambefort, there is something I'd like your help with. In fact, I think in a week or so I might be I might be coming back here with a few individuals, if you'd be all right with sharing some information about the rifts.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to help.
It's related to that thing that we talked about.
Oh, yeah. I would love to help.
Dang.
Wonderful.
I don't know.
Me either.
But since Yrsa and Willow are back, he looks to Enid. I don't think you have an excuse to avoid training anymore.
Honestly, she's gonna start taking off the coat. It's been fun. Let's get back to training. I'm not Yrsa. I'm not Willow.
Wait, you don't want to continue to be a Rift Warden?
Oh, it's been so fun.
No, I know it kind of sucks sometimes.
It's a little lot boring and then really scary.
She walks
So-
over, just starts kind of folding your cloak and just puts it down nicely.
Listen, Enid, don't worry. Once a Rift Warden, always a Rift Warden.
That's
mean,
actually
right.
true.
I'm glad my partner's been Gak, because otherwise this would have been miserable. I don't know how you guys do it by yourselves.
Well, it's nice to have a really good partner, which kind of gives Willow a smile.
Come on, Milo. And you see that they kind of just walk into Lunaria.
So cinematic.
The four of you are left alone.
Well, you all tell me about your time.
I mean, it's very pretty.
Yeah, aside
I'm
from
glad
the
you like it.
horrific thing we had to fight, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that happens.
There was a really big earthquake.
Yeah, that also happens now. Another roof opened. Unfortunately.
Do we have any idea where? Or like, to where?
We don't, right, John? We just kind of know what it okay. No, that's the unfortunate thing. It's just kind of. I would assume somewhere nearby, but that could be in any direction.
Well,
And who knows where.
If you felt it at the marsh and we felt it here, it's probably between, right?
That would make sense. Rian, did you feel it?
I did, but when I felt it, I was also here in Lunaria.
Hmm.
Perhaps when we return to the keep later, we can check with Basil and Gideon and see if maybe they felt something there. If they did, then
Yeah.
I think that widens the search quite a bit.
Well, I think that actually kind of goes into something that I was gonna do. Yrsa, I was thinking that to continue my duties as Rift Warden,
Mhm.
I was thinking that I was just gonna try to go around the continent and try to find different rifts, just so we can have them, so we know where they are. I have my map with me, and I have my pencils, and I'm gonna draw circles so whenever we need to go and close them or do research, we know where all of them are.
That's a wonderful idea, Gak. I
So
think it's good to keep track of that.
I can try to ask around, and well, first I'll probably look to see if there's any big armies going in a certain direction, because that's what happened last time one opened. So if I see any of those big armies, then I'll know it might be that way, and I might be able to figure out where the new rift is.
That's a good point. It seems as though anytime something like that happens, it clearly attracts a lot of attention. Not the good kind, but I think this is a great idea, Gag. Now, he means like, is he gonna leave right now to go and like do that?
You can see he has his stuff with him. he's just standing there.
He's ready to
he's like,
say.
"Bye."
He's ready to walk out right now.
But maybe we could do that together as everyone, you know, as we're going around, because we have to go to Siri eventually.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not gonna
And-
be able to get all of them. I
Right.
just know everyone has stuff they're doing, and like Rian and Enid are gonna go do training stuff and stuff like that. And I just wanted to do something that I felt like was was helpful. So I was just gonna go on a little journey trip.
Okay, well, I don't think you should go super far away, Gak. Just in case, you know? Maybe just clicks to map. You know, between here and Riften and Hambleford, and I don't know if I would go past peaks themselves and the Tri-Road.
Yeah, I don't really want to go over that way because that's where the city is, and the big city. We were told all the mean people are there. But I might go up around where we were, but I might also go back towards like our castle place, and then go up in places we haven't been and stuff like that, because we can do the teleport thing in the different cities, so I might be able to get to different places faster.
That's right. I forgot all about that. I was
And
no.
listen, I'm gonna be completely fine because I came over here all the way from Siri, and I was totally fine, and I was a pirate.
Yeah, I think Gak is very capable of defending himself. He's a pirate. He stared down a dragon turtle, as I hear it.
Yeah, is that what it was?
I think so. You talked about that before, right?
Probably.
Okay, good. My
I don't
third eye
remember
is
what-
opening up. If not,
I don't remember what Dio said it was, but whatever I
Just
told
keep
you, that's
us-
probably it.
Just keep us posted on where you're at, because like when Basil and Gideon were by themselves, we knew where they were. So just, you know, we want to make sure we can keep track of you, especially if we don't hear from you, then we know the last place you were.
Of course.
And Gak takes the sending
Oh,
stone and hands it to somebody. Whoever wants to grab
take
it.
Take.
And I got send, and I can send messages to you.
Good. Will you be safe? And we will be waiting to hear from you.
Yeah, thank you. Also, I'm probably gonna go with Enid and Rian to go to the place they're going first, because I've been working on a little spell for Rian, and I think I got it done. So
Good.
Awesome.
but yeah, yeah. Are you just gonna stay here, Yrsa?
I do need to speak with Willow, but then I wasn't really sure what I needed to do. I know Rian wanted me to speak with some people. But when I'm done with that, if you would like a friend, I could definitely go with you.
That could be fun.
I think that would be a lot of fun.
We'll all go to wherever Rian's going, and then we'll decide stuff.
Okay, that sounds great. Let's do that.
Perfect.
well, I was gonna head back to Hombafort, so I guess that's where we're going first.
So I was going to grab Enid by the hand and Gak by the hand, and we're gonna go together.
Cue the Ice Age travel music.
On the way. Yep.
Sing a song as the travel song. We
No.
got
Okay.
to
So you're
go
not talking to
somewhere.
Willow currently. You're going to talk to her later, right? You guys are traveling.
Yeah.
together. Okay,
Later,
cool.
later.
Okay. So, over the next, well, never mind. Here before it's a couple hours away. I'm a dumb
I
dumb.
would,
Um,
as we're walking there, I do want to have a very short, private conversation with Yrsa, just real quick.
go ahead.
Just as we're walking, he will say, I just wanted to tell you something real quick before I told everyone else when we get back to the keep.
Oh, okay.
I had a conversation with the Queen of Lunaria. She told me that they've learned the location of Vandrin. He's in Theristir.
Why?
They don't know. His camp is still set up at the basin of the mountain, but they don't know why he's in Theristir. I know about your history with him, and I wanted you to know before I told everyone else.
You can see ever since she came back, she's kind of like super in a really good mood actually. She was really smiley, like normal. And then sorry, Ryan. And then the moment you say that, it just her face kind of drops and she instinctually like kind of grabs at like the bracelets around her wrist. that kind of cover the little scars. Thank you for telling me. I'm sure if he's there, there's not a good reason as to why he's there.
No, and I'm going to tell you the same thing that I'm going to say to everyone else is I think that he should be one of our top priorities. I understand that Ciri is on the list, and maybe it's my own fear of going back home, but whatever Vandrin is doing is dangerous, and it needs to be addressed immediately. And I know that's hard to hear, I didn't...
The rifts are very important to me. And I would like to make sure I'm holding up my end, what I have to do. I think it is a priority to make sure that he is not hurting anybody else. But I don't want to stray too far from the path that I think is more important. I think it's worth looking into. And if we come across his path, then we do. But if not, I think that we shouldn't lose sight of what is most important. But thank you for telling me.
Of course.
Why do you always get stuck with the bad news?
If you can figure it out, I'd love to know what I can do to avoid it in the future. I think it's
throw
just...
more forks at you if you'd like.
You know, I don't know if that would help, honestly, but you know what? At this point,
I'm just kidding.
Well, and he smiles and will say, well, then, good. We'll stick to the path, and we won't allow our emotions to guide us.
So as you walk out of the tree, oh, sorry.
No, I thought she was just gonna give him his shoulder little squeeze. That's it.
Okay. As you walk out of the tree line and down the hill from the Mallow Grove, you make it to.
Give me that sick ass guitar.
Ambifort. Is Gak with them as well? Okay, cool. Yursa, this is the first time you're seeing Ambifort in a while. Ambifort looks like it is doing very well for itself. And there's a new building in the distance that you can see. Looks brand new, freshly constructed. It doesn't even look like it's part of Ambifort itself in the way it is constructed in the design chosen. Gak, and you notice all of these things as well. Enid, this is the first time you're traveling into this town. It's a nice, quaint, slightly bustling town. As you all walk in, Rian, you get nods again, and people wave to you and say, hello again. Good day. And they kind of just go about their business. A couple of them look towards Hirsa and Gak and wave towards you. You walk through Ambifort. Rian, where are you taking them?
I suppose to the Eastern Winds Adventuring Company.
Oh, where did that stop? Wait, hold on. What the hell? Why you gotta stop my music? Oh, that's not my music. Damn it. What the hell? Hold on. Now everything's ruined. Okay. Because I called it him before. Wrong thing. Cool. You travel to the Eastern Winds Adventuring Company. You see that there is not an engraved sign yet, but they have posts for the sign to go up. You can see artisans on the side actually engraving the words itself, and underneath they look to be engraving this symbol of a lotus flower inside of it as well. You can see multiple people kind of walking in and out. People are picking up the wood and stone that they are not using anymore and starting to travel it out of the town. You get to the Eastern Winds Adventuring Company and you enter the building. As you see in front of you, actually, I'll ask Rian. Rian, what did you design for this place to look like?
So yeah, as all of you enter, right now it is just a little bit more barren. It looks very new. There is this rich scent of cedar that just heavily permeates the air as all of the wood is incredibly fresh. You can see on the far end there is a massive hearth that currently has wood burning and crackling, and there are a few metal spokes above them where meat is rotating and several stew pots. You can see a large table in the center. This central area is very much like Jorvaskr in Skyrim, or like a Nordic longhouse almost. Long table in the center, and you can see off to the left and to the right there are a collection of doors that seem to go into private bedrooms. You can see that in the very back there is a staircase that leads down, and if you were to go down there, there is an indoor training area underneath the central dining area, where, should the weather be foul outside, training can still continue in the morning or in the tumultuous weather.
As you do enter and see all of this, you see Sayori in the corner kind of instructing people, no, that should go over there. That looks horrible right there. What are you doing? And she's just kind of yelling almost at the interior decorators of the lodge. She looks back and just kind of waves to you, just doesn't really start a conversation. You can see Elias is picking up something that he's picking up the central chandelier that needs to be attached to this chain that needs to then be brought up by four people on the side that are starting to pull it up by the chain. You don't see Eldar, but you know that Eldar has called one of the rooms as his own.
All right. Why am I not surprised? Already slacking off, is he? No, but he will turn to everyone and say, welcome to the Eastern Winds Adventuring Company. It's pretty nice, don't you think?
It's really nice.
It's
Very
really
new.
cool.
And
Did
well,
you design it all yourself?
I gave notes, but I'm not an architect. Is it just have the people that were loading in equipment, have they left yet?
The carpenters and stoneworkers, yeah.
Mhm.
It's now the decorators and that kind of.
There is something I would like to say about it, but it's a little more private. Sayori, Elias, do you know where Eldar's at?
Elias picking up the chandelier. He's in his room.
All right. If I could just talk to everybody downstairs. Like I said, it's a little more private. He will go and start knocking on doors to try and find Eldar to bring him downstairs.
Okay. As you knock on Eldar's door, you hear behind it,
I'll get you food later. You're fine for now, Below. Chill out. Oh, shit. Oh.
I'll be right there.
Who are you?
Hide.
As he opens the door and kind of leans up against it, kind of blocking, like, oh, hi.
Is your Drake companion in this room?
No.
His name was Billow, right?
You're
not prohibited from having them.
Are you acting like you don't remember?
Yes, Billow's in the room. The people around here get very
scared when he's out and about because of you know what happened before and
Mhm.
all that, so I keep him hidden in here.
There's nothing worse than an animal in captivity. Let him out. The people will get used to him.
You sure?
I'm sure if they have a problem with it, they can talk to me or Sayori about it.
All right, Billow, you heard him. You can come out. And you see Billow kind of creeping,
Hello, attacks me.
creeping around the corner, just like a cat about to pounce on something. Just, hey, Billow, stop. Just walk out. And Billow just, and just kind of scurries off.
Okay. I'd like to talk to everybody downstairs real quick.
All right. Anything I need or?
No, you're fine. Just bring yourself.
Right. And he just walks out with you.
Okay.
Eventually, you all get downstairs.
Yeah. So as we're downstairs and we're alone, Rand would say, I haven't exactly been honest to the people of Humberfort about this place. And I haven't been honest to most of you about its purpose, and I apologize for that. Something Yrsa and I had talked about very briefly. One thing that she had planned to do was to collect all of the information and locations related to the different rifts around the material plane. So that way they could be connected, united. And what I want to do is I want to do the same thing that I have done for Yrsa ever since I met her. And I want to try and do it for all of the Rift Wardens. The Eastern Winds Adventuring Company is simply a front, I suppose. It's the best word. Something that all of you will suppose, should you be willing to, will become members of. And he'll pull out from his bag a book, and he'll kind of open the book, and he'll pull out of it what looks to be a pressed flower. This lotus is what I left my home to find all those years ago. I found it, a thing that I thought would cure my family of their sickness. Me searching for this lotus sent me on this path. And one thing I've begun to realize about the complex world we live in is that the material plane is just another leaf on this incredibly complex flower. As a member of this organization, it's not just your duty to protect people, but to protect the rifts, as without them, there can be no harmony between them. The Eastern Winds Adventuring Company is a front for what I believe I will call the Wardens of the Lotus. Something that would like all of you, and to that extent, Basil and Gideon to be a part of. As all of us, that's our goal. That's my hope and dream with this place, is that one day there will be no more fear about people like Vandrin or others that will try and take those rifts and harness their magic, because there will be a group of people that are connected that can defend them. So that's what this is. And that's why and he looks towards Elias, Eldar, Sayori, and Enid, and specifically to them, and say, that's why I wanted all of you to be here. I wanted to train you, to have you speak with Yrsa, about rift magic and to learn as much as you can so you can be ready to protect these rifts, should it come to it.
I'm not going to roleplay the whole thing because it might take it out of the moment, but Eldar will ask questions like, what exactly are the rifts? And just basically any information given about the rifts in the Divine Gate and what's happening, because he's out of the loop. Elias and Sayori obviously are very much in the loop.
Yeah. A lot of that history lesson comes from Yrsa because she's really good at explaining it. Rian tried to describe it to the Queen of Lunaria, and it was not good. So he will say, Yrsa? He'll kind of pass it off to Yrsa every question.
Yeah, I was muted, but Yrsa would have clapped for Rian after he did all that.
Oh, thank you.
And then she would gladly answer any questions and try to give. Yrsa's that hippie teacher who doesn't wear shoes quite literally to class. Or at all.
Why'd you just describe yourself?
Listen. Got my dogs out all the time, okay? It's the time of year. Anyway, Yrsa would spend some time answering questions, doing her best little mini lecture on rift magic and stuff.
You see Eldar after this information. This was beforehand asking the questions, a little bit of this cocky attitude that Eldar always has. It falls silent on a very somber but serious demeanor. And this is currently happening right now. You see Eldar kind of ponders for a little bit and kind of steps forward and says, I'll do what I can to help. You've given me a second chance. I accept.
And he'll shake Eldar's hand and say thank you.
Elias kind of walks forward and says, we haven't known each other for very long. We feel like family.
I couldn't agree more. He'll shake Elias's hand.
Sayori walks forward. Well, of course I accept.
And I'm very sorry for what I'm about to do, but I learned it from Yrsa, and he's gonna hug Sayori.
It's okay. I'm getting used to this. I'm still recovering from the Oberon stuff, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, sorry. That's right.
Yeah,
He'll pull back.
And Enid will step forward too and say, I will do my best. I'll try to learn from both of you on how to do this. And you can see she's a little unsure, but she's willing to try.
You've already done it. You killed a dragon giraffe.
Eldar says under his breath, dragon giraffe?
Yeah, it's just a Feywild thing.
It's like picture those two things, but worse.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I know this is something you're capable of, Enid. And Rian will very softly hug Enid.
Yeah, she'll hug him back.
All right. Then after that, let's see if anybody has anything else. Training begins. every morning, dawn. Wait a minute. Before that,
I was gonna say, aren't you forgetting something?
well, that thing isn't until the end of the training, the end of the downtime.
Okay.
Yeah. There's still got one more thing. He will look to Gak and say, Gak, I believe that you had something to help with training.
I do. I don't know how to teach you how to do it, but I got it.
All right. Well, let's see it.
Okay.
And you're waiting for Gak to start casting a spell, but he's just kind of looking around. And are we currently inside?
Yes, you are.
Says,
I will say you
gotta
would have picked up the component because you had probably tested the spell, like maybe for like a second.
It would have been very noticeable. But Gak takes his bag of holding and he opens it. And he's like,
actually, Rian, can you hold this open for me?
Yeah, and he will.
Really wide.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah.
And Gak reaches both arms inside and he pulls out a rock.
Oh,
it's like the size of a watermelon.
Okay.
And then he sets it down on the ground. You see that on the rock there's a little face that's drawn onto it.
It's like 65 pounds.
Yeah, it's a very heavy rock. But there's a face that's kind of drawn onto it, like a smiley face with a crooked mouth.
And he goes, okay, all right, let's try this. And I hope that it works this time. Everybody, this is Gak's Stony Hitter.
And Gak casts the spell, and when you touch a rock of medium size and you utter the name of the person training with the rock, so he'll say Rian, the rock becomes animated, floating in the air.
Cool.
Good.
Yeah, so you just see the rock with the face on it slowly it rotates around Rian a little bit.
It's quite literally like the Star Wars
like the training probe. Yeah, but it's big. It's a big, like, watermelon-sized rock.
Okay.
Rian, get your sword out.
Okay, all right, and he'll draw the sword.
Okay, just try to hit it.
Rian will half-heartedly go to swing at it because it's like a big rock.
So I'll let you describe it. I'm sorry, you describe it.
No, it's okay. Yeah, well, I guess roll for an attack.
Okay, I'm gonna say.
I will say the initial attack isn't your attack plus 10.
Yeah, but I was gonna roll with disadvantage because
he is half-heartedly
just kind of swung at it.
Yeah. So what is your modifier for your attack?
Plus 10.
Plus 10, right? What's your lowest roll for your what you would have to roll you'd have to roll a natural 1 to miss this thing.
Well, let's
its
see.
Initial AC is 12.
Okay, I hit. Yeah.
Yeah. As you do hit, a piece of the rock falls off. Its AC goes up now.
And as a piece of the rock falls off, you notice that the rock starts to float a little bit faster. And move around a little bit faster. And as you had swung at it, it tried to move out of the way, which is why you only hit the side.
Oh, okay, all right. And now Rian will actually go into swinging at it. Bop. 28.
Yeah.
So
go ahead,
John.
I was gonna say, over the next minute, Rian, you have a very it's very hard for you not to hit things. So over the next minute, you hit the rock and you hit the rock, and each time you hit the rock, a piece of it falls off, and it gets more sporadic and faster every single time. The mechanics of the spell, that every hit while you're training with this, its AC goes up by 2 each time until a max of 24. Once it has 24 and you hit it for the last time, the rock breaks and shatters and it is no more. So eventually, it is this small pebble moving around very quickly and sporadically, and you have to take a second. You weren't expecting it to be this fast and this aggressive. As you eventually swing up and hit it, poof, the rock breaks and the spell ends.
Right.
And every time you hit the rock, you hear Gak's voice go,
Hey, good job, you hit it.
Oh, I love the positive
that.
reinforcement.
Aww.
Wow,
And-
great job.
but it's the same one every time. It's not like multiple things. It says, hey, good job, you hit it in the exact same way every single time.
Does it make a comment if you miss?
Nope.
Damn it. Oh, that sucks. You missed.
Better luck next time. So with that, I will say training montage insert here as his new spell, Gak's Stony Hitter, is cast over and over and over again. Gak, you eventually get multiple stones and cast it all at the same time, creating 5 of them, as each one of them is training with one of them.
Eldar, go get me more rocks.
I'm not done with mine. This fucking thing. Elias swings down with his great sword and smacks the rock, breaking it twice in one round, so it goes up 4 AC. I don't think it was supposed to happen. And you see Sayori basically Shang-Chi with the rings just punching the shit out of this thing as the rings go back onto her wrist, and she punches again and just immediately breaks this thing. This training montage continues as what I'm going to do now is pan over to 2 individuals who have been silent this session. As we pan over to Stormhold Keep. I will say, before we get into further with the Stormhold, I have to go give Jacqueline a towel really quick. So 2 minutes, I'll be right back.
Nice. I'm gonna go to break.
Sports ball.
I'm gonna go to break. Thanks for watching so far. We'll be right back.
I took up all this time.
Short break.
Bam. So, panning back over to Stormhold Keep. We see Gideon working in his room. Gideon, you are on the precipice of finishing your creation. You feel there's something a little bit more that you need, though. As Basil, what are you doing? Yeah, I didn't think I was going to ask that question, did you?
She's probably hanging around.
Okay.
Like a monkey, just like on the bar.
Yeah,
Productive.
Yeah.
She's probably just, walking around, saying hi to the workers, going outside. Yeah.
Awesome. So, I know you guys have something planned. Gideon, I will say that you eventually kind of walk out of your room, kind of taking a break, as Clara is also needing a break as well.
Mm-hmm. I'd say that getting an idea for some things. Gideon's going to take the structure that they've built so far, and he's going to wrap it up and take it with him. And he's going to go find Basil wherever she is hanging out. Basil.
Outside. We'll just say she's outside.
Well, you in the middle of something?
You see her sitting on the ground just pulling at weeds. No.
Okay. Do you need a minute?
No. What's up?
You up for a little trip?
Sure. Can I... She looks down and her hands are covered in dirt. Maybe after a quick rinse?
Prestidigitation?
Did he cast that on her?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I'm ready now.
All right. Not in that outfit, and he's going to pull out a modified Bulgra cloak to Basil's suggestion, which we talked about.
Yeah, we did.
Which looks like...
Go ahead, Rachel.
It is, because she's so bougie, it is a big fur coat. Like, think wealth. Think bougie woman. It is huge. It'll black
Cruella
out all
de
the
Vil.
winds.
That's
Basically.
Cruella de Vil.
Yes, basically.
Okay.
But it's all like a dark brown fur.
Okay.
And Gideon has on his modified one that John sent to the Discord chat, like last week or whatever.
It's more distinguished.
Yeah, more
gentleman.
I'm distinguished.
We've been talking about our challenges that we've been having. And I believe we know one person who might be able to provide some answers for both of us.
Oh, you mean Lady Gemcloak?
Yes.
Definitely possible. Hopefully she feels a little bit more rejuvenated for a visit.
I mean, we're not asking her to cast powerful magic, hopefully. It's just information we're after.
That's true. That's true.
You sure there's nothing you need to do before we go? We won't be able to come back until tomorrow morning.
No, I'm quite boring at the moment, so I'm free to do anything.
I see. Very well. And Gideon will summon the port glass. And he'll actually have Basil use it, because, like, we should teleport outside her palace and, like, enter. It feels rude to teleport, like, directly into someone's house.
Yeah. You gotta knock on the door first.
Yeah.
Okay. With that, as the glass shoots out of the box and turns into the mirror, you see in front of you a crystalline castle. As you walk through quickly, Eventually, you see in front of you Castle Gemcloak. You are hit with the immediate frigid cold and wind circling throughout the area. The castle itself enclosed with this giant wall of ice surrounding. You walk forward, eventually, to the door, and enter.
I mean, do we knock or?
Up to you.
No, that's Gideon asking Basil. He's never been on
sorry.
this side of the palace before.
I can't remember. Is there a door?
There's two doors.
Okay. She's gonna take both of her hands and on both doors.
The door opens.
Welcome to Lady Gemcloak's house. Come on. She walks
Thanks.
in.
Okay. You walk in, continuing through, and you see Castle. Lady Gemcloak. You walk forward, and you see that very familiar square pool of reflective water above the canopy of stars within the ceiling itself, just kind of moving and shifting. You see shooting stars just kind of shooting across. You see the throne up on the top of the pedestal, and you see sitting atop it is once again Lady Gemcloak, as she says,
Welcome back.
Hi. It's me, Basil, and this is Gideon. This is the first time he's come in alive. He's the one who you helped bring back to life. That time ago.
I'm aware.
You see, a lot has happened since then, and we were hoping that you are feeling well enough to possibly help answer some questions we seek.
As you do glance at Lady Gemcloak, this is the first time you're seeing her after the wish spell. You can see that her whole right hand, all the way up to her shoulder and kind of over her face and neck, looks like crystals have grown there, where it looks stiff and unmovable. It seems that it is a repercussion of the spell cast. She does not look in her fullest self, but she does say,
I can assist as much as I can. What questions do you ask? And of course, what stories do you have for me?
Basil's gonna immediately turn to Gideon and push him forward. He goes first. His question needs to be answered, if only one can be answered.
Sorry, stories?
Oh, I should have told you. Just tell a story. Any kind of story that you would deem good enough to trade, I guess. She's going to provide her help, and she requests a story that you feel is important enough to use to receive that help.
One does not receive story without first gifting them.
That is reasonable. I'm not a good storyteller, but I will do my best. thank you again for last time. Just before I move on, I wasn't quite myself when last we spoke. I'm sorry that you are... I'm kind of like looking at her arm, injured on my account.
Apologies are not needed. It was for the greater good of everything.
Kind of look back to Basil for a second, then he'll look back to Gemcloak and just kind of take a moment to kind of get oriented and breathe. Once there was a young man who grew up and his total world was dark. And he was taught that power was the greatest thing that one could achieve. That survival was for the fittest. And anyone not strong enough to survive was not worth the time. He doesn't remember how long he was in that world, but he left eventually with the help of some heroes. One pulled him aside and told him that power was not the greatest thing that one could achieve. It was knowledge. To know things, to learn, to study from. What was the point of being strong if one did not know what to do with their strength? It made sense to the young man. And so venturing out into the world, he did everything he could to learn. He read, he asked questions, he did his best to pay attention. And he started to learn, but that world of the dark, it left a mark on him. And he never forgot it. And it shaded many of the answers that he tried to come up with. He ended up meeting up some people. Good people. Not perfect, but truly good people. Those who also had not had easy lives, had been forced to make hard decisions, had much asked of them and had much taken from them. But they tried to not let the dark that was in their life at that time overshadow what they did, what they believed in. As much as seeking knowledge made sense to the young man, he didn't forget the lesson that if one was weak, one could not do much. But he saw that sometimes there are questions that the answers are not so simple. In fact, I don't think any of the questions that he wanted an answer to have been answered yet. As he realized that there was so much change, so much diversity, so many variables in the world, the truth became harder for him to find. And he grew frustrated with himself that despite all of his power, all of his capability, he could not seem to grasp the answers that should be in front of him. He had an ill turn of fate recently. He was forced to reflect on what he had done and what he had achieved up to that point. Wondered if he had made enough of an impact on the world that he wanted versus the world that he came from. That young man might not live in that world of darkness anymore, but he still hasn't forgotten, and he's starting to see that sometimes answers will always lie out of reach, but it's not an excuse to stop, to give up, to think that it's all meaningless and there's no point. Sometimes the answer is you just have to live. I don't know where this story ends, but he's still trying his best.
As that last word leaves your lips, best, you kind of look up and you see that as you were talking, the words are being written into the stars and disappearing, like a typewriter writing them into the cosmos as they kind of just disappear one word after another, and best kind of echoes, and a star is created.
That is a beautiful story. What is your question, Gedon?
You seem to know more of who I am than I do. You are not the last person who has called me Kirdan. Who was I before I came here? What happened?
She looks up to the stars and gets out of her throne, walks over, and as she starts walking over, you do see she transforms into her form of the dragon as her hand reaches up and grabs one of the stars. The star itself looks to be bright, slightly dim. As she places it into the pool, the shimmering begins. As the shimmering and ripples reach the edges, you see an image appear. A story, while with no sound, is told. You see those two astral elven individuals. Dominisk and Stellara. You see they grow up on what looks to be a giant meteor floating through the astral sea, a civilization built atop it. You see that Dominisk and Stellara hold positions of high power within the city. Stellara at the time is pregnant. Eventually, the vision goes forward a little bit, and a little baby boy is born. Astral eyes, long pointed ears. The couple looks happy. Some time passes, and that very small child is learning to crawl. Some more time passes, but it doesn't look like much time. It looks like battle plans are being initiated. Stellara and Dominisk are in a war room, surrounded by other council and war members of their table. The civilization in the stars of astral elves. Seemingly something is coming. As this is happening, you kind of remember back to your vision where Dominisk mentioned something called Artux. You see the couple look at each other in horror as they ready themselves to travel. They travel for what seems days, but it's hard to tell within the sea of stars, as they eventually make it to a dim, dark asteroid that seemingly has crags and holes carved into it that these horrible creatures start to emanate from, as the couple has to fight them off to eventually get to this, you could call it a hut, structure, and inside is the creature you have seen. That entity that called itself Ishna. They plead with Ishna, making a deal. A deal that seems to possibly get their child out of harm's way. As that deal is struck, they travel back home. Outside of the asteroid, you see hundreds, if not thousands, of ships floating just outside, ready for battle, ready for war, outnumbering any and all of those who live on this meteoroid that your parents live currently. You see these horrible, almost plant-like but starfish-looking alien creatures that start to make their way down to the meteoroid. Those individuals, your mom and dad, kiss you on the forehead. Ishna appears, places her hand on you, and with a pop, you disappear from their grasps, traveling across the cosmos, and eventually landing on the prime material. The story continues, but that dim light that you saw, you watched the Artuks destroy the entirety of that rock. You see this centralized crystal in this large cathedral-like place that's thrumming with energy and power. Seems to connect all of them together as it broken and destroyed and the civilization falls. Dominus, Stellara die in battle. Gideon, you are left on the prime material in a forest. You see a wolf about to grasp this child as this lanky-looking scientist kills the wolf and takes the child. And the vision fades.
Did you know them at all?
I did not. But all things that are born within the astral sea are connected. I know the place, however. The Rock of Brawn.
And this creature they made a deal with, you know where it is?
Yes. Ishna. She is a great power. She lives on a meteoroid, floating in space, near a tear, a black hole of sorts that leads to the far realm.
Thank you for all of this.
Would you like to know their name? Their full name? Your parents?
He'll nod.
Dominisk, Karen, and Stellara the dentist.
You speak Celestial, don't you?
I think he used to. I don't think he does anymore. No, he does not anymore.
I will say, for the purposes of this,
Sure.
because it's lower. Your father's name means Lord of the Land. Your mother's name means Starseer. Starseer.
The name given to you was Kadon Clara, or Bright Sun.
And I'll put those in chat.
Thank you. This is more than I could have hoped to learn on my own. Thank you for showing and telling me what happened.
Of course.
She looks to Basil.
Did you have a question?
Yes. And I will not be upset if you're not able to answer it. I know that it's not very clear or even answerable. But if you're willing to try with me, I would be more than happy to see if I'm able to provide any extra information if needed. But I can tell you my story. And I don't know if they're still holding hands, but she'll either grab back onto or hold Gideon's hand again. There once was a woman, happy and in love with a child. They lived together in harmony in their own small bubble, a world that couldn't be broken, or so they thought. One day the child fell ill, as most children do at least once. But this time it was different. She wasn't getting any better. No matter how many doctors she was taken to, no matter the amount of medicine she was given and prayers that went unanswered, she continued to decline. In a state of desperation, her mother cried to the skies, begging the god of death to spare her child. Take anyone, but not this one. Not her, not my lasting love in this world. But death didn't care. He turned a cheek instead, ignoring her pleas. The time had come for the child to take her last breath in this mortal world and enter the realm of everything that lived in between a beating heart and stillness. Her mother wasn't ready. She wasn't ready to let that breath be the final one. In a fit of rage, the mother challenged death, swearing the safety of a child to be ensured. And death was, in fact, no match for a mother who would pull back the sun itself just so she could have one more full day on this earth with her other half. The mother instead became death, thus becoming the one who chooses who crosses that line, and it would never be her child.
But her time on the mortal plane came to an end, and she and her child would no longer be able to be together. It was a price she was sadly willing to pay to be able to watch a child grow in the hands of others. A child would live many lives and experience the hardships of each of them, the despair, the happiness, the downfalls, successes. She would never experience the eternity of death, and she would never consciously experience the true love of a mother. But the mother and her child, though separated, found each other again, and the child became a follower of her. However, the gods and the world had other plans to keep them separated forever. But the child also had other plans. But they may not become fruitful, for even demigods can't compete with full ones. And she wipes a little tear and kind of takes a step back, showing that she's done.
Again, your story is written into the stars, and as the last word is spoken and disappears, it turns into a star.
What is your question?
As you can probably tell, my mother's the Raven Queen, and I am her child by blood. And she's continuously had me live many lives. With your knowledge of the gods, and if there are or have ever been demigods, what could the possible outcome be for my mother and I? Are we even able to be together? That's my question.
You see her ponder, look up to the stars. She looks back down, not pulling a star out of the ceiling.
The stories of gods go back centuries and eons. The ways of the gods, mostly unknown to mortals. No one knows, not even I, what happened. Truly. Let me go on. There have been stories written of champions of the gods. Stories say that when they die, they perish. The rest of their lives are spent with their gods, continuing the work they were a champion for during their mortal life. Children of the gods, demigods, left a long time ago. Most gods brought their children back with them to their planes, if they had the power. I do not know what your future holds past the life you currently have.
I assumed as much.
I'm sorry.
Gideon would lean over to Basil, and he'd whisper, "Try asking about the name. Maybe it'd be familiar to her."
I'm sorry. I asked. There's another question, but I don't know if I asked the wrong question or if I'm able to ask another question. It's still related to the same thing. Does it count? I can think of another story.
Ask your question, child.
I have been searching for my mother's name, as well as her maiden name, our shared last name. And I visited a temple of hers that seems to have not been touched in centuries. And on the wall, it was almost carved in. The first name was Viara, but the last name, it was kind of scratched out. I could only make out the letter D. And I have no idea even how I was lucky to even get this information. I have no idea how to even get even farther to make more of this name.
She looks up again. You see her squint towards what looks to be some sort of star that looks fractured. She grabs it. She has some resistance pulling it out. Looks at it. And places it in the pool. You see the whole story that you saw before in the temple. You see Viara was a simple farmer. You see that when she decided she was going to fight the god of death, she had gained a small following at that point. Others that did not agree with how the god of death handled the transition. You see those individuals are the ones who carved her story. Not them specifically, but a book that has been long gone and destroyed, written from their point of view. It's eventually carved into that temple. But something looks fractured about the rest of the story. You see Lady Gemcloak looking around.
This is curious. I have never seen a story so fractured, so tampered with.
Tampered?
From what I can ascertain, it is possible that when your mother ascended to godhood, any mortal recollection or information of her was wiped and destroyed, but not by mortals. To know the name of a god is to hold great power.
But if you don't use the power for bad, and if it's your mother,
I think I may be able to uncover stories about this Viara. I will not be able to at this time. I am intrigued. I have not had something like this in front of me in a while. This I will do.
really?
Yes.
You have no idea how much it means to me. And my mother. She's helped me along the way, and I know that she will greatly appreciate your help as well.
I will warn you. As I said before, to have the name of a god, the true name of a god, is great power. There are magics that could cease them from existence, knowing their actual name.
How so?
Are more powerful magics than the ones that helped bring your friend back. And there are many people who wish to see the gods die.
And even me knowing this information?
If I figure it out, I would keep it silent.
I would appreciate if you would still be able to look into this. However, I will not come back for the answer.
Would you like me to send word once I've found the answer?
You can send word to let me know that you found it. But I do not wish to know anymore. It's too
Very well.
important. She's too important to me. I don't want to even risk the possibility of her name getting out one way or another.
Are there any more questions?
Basil looks over to Gideon.
Not a question, but I was hoping to ask a favor, if you would.
Yes.
And he will pull the wrapped piece that he's working on, and he'll walk over to the base of the stairs where Lady Gemcloak is, and he'll lay it out and unwrap what he's been working on.
Okay. You see that Lady Gemcloak turns back into her human form.
So what do you need?
I'm trying to reconnect with that same power and magic that I felt when I reconnected with the Astral Sea. I believe that I'm close, but I'm missing something that right now I cannot provide it. If you'd be willing, if you would offer some bit of magic up blessing into this weapon. I have no right to ask anything of you, but it would mean a great deal to me.
You see, she kneels down, picks up the item. She wraps her hands around and closes her eyes, and you watch crystals start to emanate from her hands and start to crack and move across the entire item, encapsulating it in crystal. You hear as she places it on her forehead, and you watch all of her tattoos and the stars on her body light up. She eventually loosens her hands, and as she loosens her hands, those crystals crack and break, falling to the ground. The sound of almost shattered glass. And as they hit the ground, they just turn into dust. Gideon, as she hands you back the item, you see stones circulating in a pattern above. The item thrums with magic. She hands it back to you. You may add your item to your inventory. It is completed.
Yes! After a literal month, it's finally done. Thank you.
May this help you in your endeavors.
I believe it will.
If there is no more questions, a favor. I have much rest I need.
Yes, of course. We greatly appreciate it, and hope you get some rest.
She walks over to you, Basil, and looks down towards the box. Port class. As she places her hand on it, you see magic return to the box. You have another use of the port class for this day.
Nice.
To reset the item.
Oh, she's the goat.
As she turns around, bows to both of you, starts walking up her crystal steps, and exits the throne room to a room behind. You two are standing there. You can port glass back if you would like.
He's too nice to us.
She is. Are you ready?
If you are.
Ready as I'll ever be.
So, the two of you, the glass forms once again into the mirror. You walk through, it shatters, thrusting itself back through into the box. You are back at Stormhold Keep as we pan over to Rian and the Wardens of the Lotus.
Yeah. So I don't really have anything in particular in mind for any type of training montage other than Yursa explaining the rifts and the planes. So I guess I leave that up to Kayla if that's something she wants to do in character or montage.
Nah, I would say just like sake of brevity, she would have, like I said, we go outside and she would do some like, little magic-y things to just talk about the rifts and kind of, tell everything that she knows that would be beneficial to, protecting the rift itself, what things that can come in and come out and all that jazz. So
yeah, I will say that the next couple days, the training montage is over, and Rian, you feel that they have passed their test.
Alrighty.
Is this graduation?
Yeah. So what I would say is
which
that
college was that best?
I know, right? This is so much cheaper too. You only have to pay with your life. So
Rather than a life of paying.
yeah,
so.
it's just pay
I
with
see no
your life.
difference.
Yeah.
I will ask, are you in Hambefort while this happens, or Lunaria?
The training happens in Hombefort, but the final ceremony happens in Lunaria.
Okay.
I'll allow it.
Okay. Yeah, of course he would ask for the proper permission from Yrsa and the Queen. Okay.
The Queen gives permission.
Nice. So then with Elias, Eldar, Sayori, and Enid there, he would say, I am very proud of all of you for how far you've come and the commitment that you seem to have for this task. I will now ask you to swear an oath. And then I have some tokens for all of you to represent the commitment that you've made and the bond that we all share. So, I'd like the four of you to repeat after me. And John, Felicity, you do not need to repeat after me.
No, I think
What?
you
That
do.
doesn't
We need to
sound-
try to in China.
So Rianne will look and ask all of them to kneel in front of the rift.
They do.
I swear it on my name and my power. I swear by arcane and divine. I swear by the material plane and all under others that I will defend the rifts with my life. To my last breath, I will protect the fabric of our reality. You hold no oath to any king or queen. Your oath is pledged to each other to protect their rifts and their wardens. Now, stand, wardens of the Lotus.
They stand.
The overlay, no!
It's okay. I think she's coming right back. She froze.
I know.
It's okay.
It looks like I'm
Do some
drowning.
Wacky stuff.
It looks like I'm drowning right now on the.
Oh no.
Oh. Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay.
The overlay.
There we go.
Okay. They
So
stand.
now I know, contrary to how I act most of the time, I promise you that I am not one for speeches, so I will keep this short. All of you have made a promise. A promise to put the good of the world we live in before your own desires. As I said before, each of you will receive a token of my gratitude that is a symbol of the respect that I have for you. Elias, I present to you this iron ring. This ring is forged from the chains of one of the forges in Ventus Ferrum. That forge crafted many great weapons, same as you will craft many great warriors. And he'll hand Elias the ring.
Thank you.
Eldar and Rianne will unhook the dagger from his side that he's kept since the very beginning and say, "This dagger has been in my possession since the day you lost your honor. I kept it in fear of what you would do should I have returned it to your possession. That is a fear I no longer carry, since I feel you have regained your honor. I give this dagger back to you now because I no longer fear it will wind up in my back. Or, I suppose my stomach is more appropriate." And he'll hand Eldar his dagger back.
He takes the dagger back. A little bit worn, but thank you. And no inside check needed, but you see he holds it as though it was sentimental. He does. You watch him place it into a sheath that he's had on his side that's been empty since he lost it.
Homie. All right. And then he'll move to Sayori and say, neither of us knew what home looked like in our prime, or in its prime, but hopefully. And he'll pull out a small necklace with a clasp on it. Hopefully the painting inside will not only remind us of what will happen if we fail, if our mission is lost, but of the true beauty that our home used to be. And as Sayori opens it, it is the best miniature painting that Rian could do of what he assumes Ventus Ferrum would have looked like in its prime. The cherry blossom trees, the massive towers built into the mountains. It's beautiful. It's just tiny. As he hands it to Sayori.
Thank you. And you see she puts it on.
And I'll move to Enid. I've known you the longest, but I feel as though I know you the least. I was blessed to have such strong memories of home, and I am so sorry that you do not. Yrsa has told me that we may tie strong memories to taste, and hopefully this gift, when used in the right moment, will help you remember those happy moments, regardless of how brief. And he will pull out a very finely made flask. This flask is carved from the same rhinos that lived near our village, and is bound in the same leather of the cows that grazed near our farms. And it's filled with the same wine that our village would drink on the dawning. And he'll hand that to her.
She'll take it and run her hands along the leather. How did you get... You just had this?
I've kept it on me for a long time, and my memory is strong enough of those moments. I don't need a drink to remind me of it.
Yeah, and she'll hug him.
And he'll return
Tight.
the hug. Yeah.
A real hug.
And eventually he'll pull away and look towards the four of them and say, and now the work begins. And look upon the first ever class. This is a graduation.
Sailor Moon pose.
The class of 859.
But yeah,
In the name of the moon, I will punish you.
And yeah, with that, I would assume the rest of the day, the last few days we have before we head back to Stormhold Keep, as Rian wouldn't insist on training. It would be time for them to relax and time for everybody to be happy and enjoy this moment before the sad times come. Oh, there's one thing I forgot to do. I mean, it's fine, but he would have gone to Yrsa several days ago. Sorry. And showed her the flower, the lotus he had talked about initially, and would say to her, that's true, that's me. I'll keep it brief, though. He would just ask her, I know that this is seemingly outside of the realms of possibility, perhaps, but is there any way that you could help bring life back to this flower? And I'd like to plant them in front of the hall.
anything is possible with a little bit of magic and a lot of bit of love. And she will make us some flowers.
Okay. All right. And then they get planted. Cool. There you
Like
go.
her
Brief.
flower voice.
I will
Other than that,
say
done.
the next day or two, bringing us to Eliant 16th. You all start to get ready to head back. Two of you get ready to head on a small adventure looking for other rifts. Yursa and Gak. However, Yursa, I know there was one thing you wanted to talk to Willow about.
Yeah, I imagine just at some point she would just kind of pull her to like a nice spot. I imagine just a spot where they would always go to just talk. And she would say, "So have you thought about the question that I asked you?
Which one?
About wanting to be a butterfly or a moth?"
Oh,
Okay, great. I don't want you to actually answer that question.
okay.
I have been thinking a lot about this. And I have a better question for you instead. Do you
Okay.
know what happens to a caterpillar when it makes its cocoon?
Yes, metamorphosis.
But do you know what happens?
The process of metamorphosis?
Which is?
They create a chrysalis and stay inside. I don't get it.
Okay, and she's gonna like take her hands. So, yes, metamorphosis happens, but a caterpillar, when he is metamorphosizing, they break down. They turn into this liquid. They completely deconstruct. They are in this form between life and death, and it's this process that happens without any magic. And they completely deconstruct. What do you think that the caterpillar is thinking in that moment?
Good question. When is it time to get out?
Maybe. But you know what I don't think it's thinking? I don't think it's thinking, am I gonna be a moth or a butterfly? I think it's thinking that it just wants to be, right? It wants to rebuild itself. It wants to not be a liquid anymore. It wants to reconstruct, and it just wants to be. Right? It doesn't matter if you're a butterfly or a moth, because we were all caterpillars once. And I think that's important.
You know, I miss our little talk.
I do too. So, I say this because I am going to be leaving soon.
I know.
Willow, I don't know when the next time I'm gonna come back is. And I think that whether you want to be a butterfly or a moth, I think that's it's really up to you. I just want you to be, and I want you to be the warden here. The only Rift Warden here. Because I think once all of this is done, I don't think I'm supposed to come back here. I mean, to visit, of course, and to spend time with you, but I don't think I'm supposed to just be here. I think I'm meant to be in many places.
You're kind of scaring me.
I don't say this to scare you. I'm just gonna like touch your face and like cup your face. I say this because I love you, and I want you to be. I want you to feel like you can do this because you can. I've seen you do this. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to be a little bit of everywhere. And I want you to know that when people think of Lunaria, I don't want them to just think, oh, yes, Yrsa and Willow. I want them to think Willow and Yrsa. But most importantly, Willow. I want you to be this Rift Warden.
Okay.
Why are you sad?
I love you, and I'm gonna leave again, and I know you need to. It just sucks.
I know. But I'm always right here. I'm just gonna like squeeze her little bracelet.
Yeah.
And besides, you don't need me anyway. I mean, look at this place, it's wonderful.
I mean, I might not need you for this. I'm always gonna need you, Yrsa.
I'm always going to be here, even if I'm not physically here. We have been through much worse.
We have the Sunless Marsh.
That too. But I think if you can handle a little mosquitoes and some very dark days, some darker than the marsh, that we can get through this together too. Besides, these are never goodbyes, these are just see you laters.
Yeah. Yeah. And she just
Smile.
runs and gives you a big hug.
Oh, she'll give her a hug too. And she's probably crying a little bit. But...
Willow is.
Okay, well now yours is really crying. But she gives her a big old hug, and she gives her like a little kiss on the top of her head.
Just please make sure you stay safe. I don't want to have to come out looking for you.
I will be fine, I promise.
Milo, say goodbye. And Milo, ooh,
Yay!
kind of sits down and, come on, do the thing. And Milo just, and waves.
Oh, that is so wonderful. But I'm gonna need a hug too, and then your soul will go and give him a hug.
You almost disappear.
Yeah. You watch after her. I'm glad we have an understanding. And
You're traveling out with Gak to go find rifts.
Yeah, we're going to mark them on a map, so that way we have an idea of as many as we can find.
Good luck. Let me know what you find.
I will.
I kind of need to know about this stuff.
It is your duty to know about these things. I will make sure you know. Okay, smile. Stop looking so glum. They... Great.
Alright.
I will see you soon.
See you soon. Also, Never mind. And she looks like she was going to mention something and then just doesn't.
Yrsa will smugly turn. And she'll go find Gak to go. Their scouting
Okay.
mission.
Gak, you are just in Lunaria itself, kind of talking with one of the locals as you're gathering supplies for your trip. And one of the individual you were talking to says, "Oh, and you could probably take some of these good berries," and kind of just holds her hand out, and just berries appear in her hands, and she just puts them into your bag.
Thank you.
And Gak holds his hand out, and a spoon appears, and he gives it back.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I know you guys trade stuff, so.
Yes. Oh, hello, Yrsa. Safe travels, as the individual just kind of bows and leaves you to yourself.
Got a bunch of berries in my bag.
Great. That's you're all set. Are you ready to go?
Yeah, I think so. I know we don't have a bunch of time, but I just kind of figured we'd just try to find where they are. We don't have to stick around.
I think that's a good idea. Gonna offer you her hand so they can skip together.
Oh,
Gak, when you start skipping, Gak is skipping very fast because his legs are so long, so that he
may have made a
realizes-
mistake.
he realizes that he's kind of dragging Yrsa, and he slows down.
More like a hop.
Yeah.
So, over the next, we'll say, close to a week, you travel around Afira, looking for tears, not yet rifts, asking locals. You travel around from Hambefort back to Niewald, within the Valamite Empire to places you've been before, traveling within the Razor Peaks. You eventually head back to Hillgrove. You don't find any, at least on your travels in this continent. However, during your travels, while in Niewald, you did come across a rumor within Ciri that has traveled across that a strange perpetual tornado of sand has popped up within the Sea of the Dying, the desolate sands and dunes outside of the grand capital city of Al-Shaham. Yrsa, make a history check.
Yep. Re-pull my character sheet up. $17.
It's odd that these rumors that you've heard is they're definitely dust devils and these sandstorms that happen within a place as desolate and sandy as this with the harsh weather. But what you're hearing is a a close to 200-foot tornado is perpetually in the same spot that it has been for about almost a week within the Sea of the Dying. It is seen from Al-Shaham itself.
Oh my.
With your history, Gak, as well, being from Ciri, the Sea of the Dying is somewhere people don't go. It has the name for a reason. It is thousands of miles of sand and desert. The fact that people can see this tornado from Al Shaham itself is concerning. So there's only one plane you can think of that could create such... Well, I lied. 2 planes you can think of that could create such an anomaly. One, Pandemonium, the plane of chaos. Or 2, the plane of air. You don't know which it is,
Okay.
but it's one of the 2. Jack and Yrsa, through your travels, just your base travels, again, you don't find any new tears. However, you do glance past Crest Basin and see the rift to the abyss. A gargantuan machine of cogs and steel. A large arcane crystal embedded, almost like a vacuum, seems to be siphoning out the magic of this rift. Now you know nobody on the Prime Material, not even the gods, could actually siphon all of the magic from a plane enough to remove it or destroy it or even set it off slightly. But you see hundreds of guards camp outside of what looks to be a makeshift stronghold around the rift itself. You can see that there are tanning racks created with Bulgara skin lashed around it. You can see that there are piles of what look to be fiendish skinned dogs. You also see one creature that stands out among the rest, just kind of passing through. This creature that looks like it was 15 foot tall, reddish brown skin, devilish face, and pincers for hands. You have an update on the Abyss and its rift. You know Vandarin is not there. The situation of the rift at the Abyss, especially for you, Yrsa, is concerning. But Gak, you map out things. You place areas on your map that you have heard rumors of possible tears in the area. Other than going dungeon delving, it's hard to see on the surface. You hear of a rumor within Artis that there possibly is some sort of magic being siphoned. Not like the abyss you see, but the area itself is starting to turn different within the Ironcrest Mountains, where the mountain itself, the rock, seems to almost be more brittle and darkened, like obsidian. In Keywood, there are rumors that the marsh is growing larger. Yrsa, you know this not to be true, but the rumors are still there. As well as in Woebrook, as you pass through, that a part of the forest is starting to petrify. But petrify not in a way where they die in place, but look to be turning to glass. With that, you eventually After some time, Rian leaving the Wardens of the Lotus behind to do their work in Hambefort with Enid. Gideon, with your item created and work on another item finished at this point in the castle or in the keep. All of you eventually on Eliant the 20th. 21st. On the autumn equinox, as the trees start to slightly turn to yellows and oranges, not quite, the air starts to get cooler. All of you return to Stormhold Keep. Gideon, firstly, you hear, as you are working away, a popping noise, a door open, and entering Rian and Enid back to Stormhold Keep first. You can see the castle is mostly finished. There are decorations, the stone is fixed. It's livable.
Oh, they worked hard while we were gone.
I made sure they did.
Well, it looks really good.
Thank you. I trust everything went smoothly on your ends.
Yeah, and Rian made some pretty good progress.
Yes, the building is done. And he'll explain to Gideon everything he already said to everybody else. He'll also catch Basil up on it also.
And I think Enid would bring up the Jabberwock, and obviously then I feel like everyone will be like, oh, there was rumbling here too. And then we'll be like, whoa, crazy.
Yeah.
Oh,
And eventually, at this point, the door opens once again. About a day later, and Yursa and Gak are there.
Hey, everybody!
We're back.
Welcome back.
What was it? Did you find more rifts?
We didn't find new rifts, but we did find more.
And problems.
Oh.
Yeah.
lovely.
Let me give everyone a hug first, and then we'll talk about the terrible things. And she'll go around and starting with Basil and Gideon, give them hugs because she hasn't seen them in a hot minute. I know, sorry, Bubbles, but it's been too long. Sorry.
Yeah.
And then she'll share with and Gak whatever, like what her Gak found. All the rumors.
Okay.
The rumors.
Everyone is caught up at this point. They'll say everyone is eating and conversing around the large dining room table you have in your dining hall. At one point, eventually Clara does enter and says, "Oh, hey, good to see all of you. How was your travels?"
Pencil.
Complex.
Oh,
Mm.
complex.
Gideon, do you still need help with the thing?
Oh no, I finished it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I went to a dragon that's local to the Astral Sea and borrowed some of her power from it.
All right.
Did the trick.
It was nice to see you all again. By the way, I'm here. By the I'm living here now.
Oh. Where are you? Which room?
Well, not inside of the keep. Down on the beach.
A lovely spot.
You have
How
a
long
house
does
on
it
the
take
beach?
to walk?
Yeah. There's actually some some abandoned stuff down there. Just fixed one of them up.
Oh.
Gideon said it was fine.
Oh, that's absolutely wonderful. Like Gak said, how long does it take to walk down?
15 minutes. It's beautiful down there.
We have neighbors. It's very exciting.
What's your
About that.
What's your shop doing?
Well, people in Woebrook aren't looking to really buy a lot of magical items after what happened. Actually, everyone there just kind of wants to buy wine. I wasn't doing good business before, anyways. I might try to set up something in Shradina.
Mm.
But sorry, I don't mean to keep you guys. I just wanted to say hi. If you need me, I'm around. Good to see you. And she just kind of walks off.
I gotta show
Thanks,
you some
Carlo.
stuff later.
She peeks back in. Okay. And she goes away.
By the way, John, how many more days until that party?
The party
Yeah.
itself is on Harvest Tide, which is in a week.
Oh yeah, Basil would have relayed all that info.
I was about to say, we probably would have just accepted on the party's behalf, right? Like, we would have told them, like, yeah,
Probably.
totally. Just to
Most
not be rude.
likely. Yeah. Okay.
Hopefully, this ball has exponentially less vampires.
That's what I said to Basil.
Same wavelength.
What?
Well,
it's
so
I
you
don't
see, a
like the
long
black
time
noise.
ago.
So Kyrian turned into a sludge monster, and I only felt slightly bad about that, and then we killed him.
And I'm
That's pretty
not
much what
even
happened.
shocked anymore.
Oh, and we burned the entire mansion down.
Okay, wait.
It
Brakes
seemed
on
like
that.
it seemed like a good idea at the time.
There's a lot of places on fire.
Metaphorically.
Okay.
So,
It's good to have you all back.
Friendship.
Is there I'm not sure if it was on the invitation, but is there like a theme to the ball?
nope.
No. Okay, just kind of wear whatever.
It wasn't a ball. It's not a ball.
It's just
Party.
It's a party. Is there a theme to the party?
It's
Like
a party. It's a party.
50s, Hollywood.
Not on the invitation itself.
We gotta call
but-
and ask.
But what you know is that it is at Red Peak Castle, which is rich people. So you know you have to dress up for sure.
Should I put shoes on?
No,
You should
Shady
put shoes on.
Hawkins
No.
dance.
you should not.
I don't want to wear shoes.
Be unapologetically yourself. They'll respect it more.
Wear those like
I don't know if
pretty
that's
like
true.
foot things. Didn't you wear at your wedding like little like foot? Yeah, those things.
Your second make some out of vines.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man. Gideon, have you never felt grass in between your toes?
No.
Oh, you're missing
You've
out.
never felt grass between your toes?
No.
Have you ever felt
That's-
sand between your
mean,
toes?
We can go
No.
right now.
I
That's
think we should
okay.
all go right now. Is everyone
No.
done? We should all
Gideon.
take our shoes off.
I'm still
So
eating.
that way, okay. I wait for you to finish, Gideon, and then we're all gonna take our shoes off and rub our feet in the dirt and grass.
Do you take your shoes off when you take a bath?
Yeah.
So, but then do you put them like right on afterwards when you get out?
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
Why?
I think that's how you get like gout.
Do you have
That-
blisters
that's
on
a
your
myth.
feet?
Nope. Never.
I
Sometimes
I
when
feel
my
it.
feet
Can I
are
make an
wet and I
insight
put
check
them
on
in
Gideon?
shoes.
I don't believe
Enid
him.
would like to stealthily leave.
So would Gideon, but that's not an option for me, so we go.
I want Enid to make a stealth check.
All right.
Sure, make a stealth check.
See if Gak sees her. $17.
Passive perception's 23. Gak Caesar.
Okay.
Enid, stay here. We have to talk about shoes.
I don't want to talk about shoes. That's why I'm
Please.
leaving. You could take your shoes off. I don't want to.
I think that in our keep, we all should feel free to free our toes.
Okay, and then
I
she leaves.
disagree.
Okay. She looks
What
at
an
her.
ending to this session.
We're getting those dogs out, Gideon.
And that's where we're gonna end
the
tonight's
hell does
session.
that mean?
Take that from you, John.
And with that,
Oh no, really?
Maybe we should do more downtimes.
we pan away from the party, freshly together, back again after a month, talking about shoes and dogs.
Our toes.
That's not where we're gonna end the session.
Oh, And in the distance, we see pretty fireworks, and everything's okay. That's not okay music. I'll stop talking.
As we have cutscenes to get to. Panning away from the party in the desolate deserts of Syria, in the sands of the dying. You see a 200-foot tornado and a rift underneath it. Winds that seem like it could pick up tons of weights, creating this tornado from out of the rift. We pan to a city built into the wall of a mountain. Thiristir, as an individual known as Vandarin, meets with a council of individuals in the high peaks of the city itself. We pan further and further out into the astral sea, where a creature known as Ishna continues on a ritual. And we then pan to the Shadowfell Rift in the Sunless Marsh. On the other side, you see a dragon made of shadow and darkness, surrounded by an army of shadow-like creatures. In its forehead, a glowing symbol of the Deep Father. As you hear,
"It is time. The shroud, the priority in darkness. For the Deep Father."
and with that, as the next arc of the campaign begins, is where we are going to end the session.
Woo! Well, crud.
Man.
Crud indeed.
What is this?
And okay, guess not.
Catch us next week.
So thanks for watching, everybody. Thought there was going to be something else tacked on there at the end. So thanks for watching, everybody.
You guys leveling up to level 10?
Yeah. Does it happen?
What does that mean, John? Is that a statement or a question?
I feel like I'm being put in a spot here.
No, don't say anything.
I mean, we are live, though.
It'd be really nice.
So be sure to tune in on Saturday for the continuation of the Isles of Iverion, on Sunday for Buried Time, on Tuesday for Salamander Coast, or next Wednesday for the
Where
Tales
we'll
of
be
Evrand.
leveled up.
Or not. Either way is okay. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Level
9.